Welcome to The Explainer, Physics Ninjas. We are taking on a seriously high-stakes chapter today, and we've actually got a live countdown ticking from the second we begin. We're going to completely master work, energy, and simple machines.
So, this right here, this is our promise contract. Before that timer hits absolute zero, you are going to have the exact knowledge and skills you need to defeat a major physics boss battle entirely on your own. Seriously, no tricks. I'm going to teach you everything you need exactly when you need it.
Okay, let's dive right in. Keep this to-solve quest log in mind, because we're going to collect the exact Shinobi scrolls, the formulas and concepts needed to stop this runaway truck. This is a real-world Indian highway problem. Picture this, a massive truck weighing 10,000 kilos. Suddenly, its brakes fail while it's bombing down the road at 72 kilometers per hour. It swerves onto a sand-filled emergency ramp inclined at 30 degrees. Now, the sand pushes back with 50,000 newtons of force. So what's the minimum length of that ramp needed to fully stop the truck? Well, you might not be able to solve this quite yet, but by the end of this explainer, you're going to crush it in just 3 lines.
All right, we start by collecting our very first concept, the scroll of work. In physics, work is simply force multiplied by displacement. Its SI unit is the joule. So 1 joule perfectly equals 1 newton of force multiplied by 1 meter of distance. That's our foundation right there. But here's the thing. Direction literally changes everything. Think about a boy pushing a wheelchair forward. The force arrow and the displacement arrow, they both point in the exact same direction. That's what we call positive work, which basically means energy is flowing into the object. But cut to a goalkeeper desperately stopping a football. The ball's displacement is moving forward, right? But the goalie's force is pushing backwards. When force is opposite to displacement, that's negative work, meaning energy flows out of the object. The goalie literally takes energy out of the ball to stop it dead.
So, here's a massive trap to watch out for. Negative work does not mean zero work. Not at all. It's actually a crucial attack that pulls energy right out of a system. A lot of students get kind of confused by this. But in the escape ramp problem we're going to solve later, that sand is doing negative work on the truck to slow it down. Definitely remember that.
Now let's parry 3 classic illusions that might look like really hard work, but actually equal exactly 0 joules of physics work. First up, imagine a guy pushing a brick wall with all his might. The wall obviously doesn't move. No displacement, no work. Period. Second, a weightlifter holding a super heavy barbell perfectly steady overhead. Again, no displacement, so 0 work. Sure, she feels exhausted and her muscles are burning calories, but on the barbell itself, absolutely 0 work. And third, carrying a box on your head while walking forward. The force you apply to hold it up is straight up, but your displacement is horizontal. When force is perpendicular to displacement, it equals 0 work. This one trips up students every single year, so don't let it fool you.
Next up, we need to acquire our energy scrolls. Now, energy is simply defined as the capacity to do work, and it actually shares the exact same unit, the joule. Here's our first one, the kinetic energy scroll, the dynamic energy of motion. The formula is 1/2 mv squared. Basically, the faster something moves, the more kinetic energy it has. But you've got to watch that v squared carefully. Doubling your speed doesn't just double your kinetic energy, it literally quadruples it. So a car going 60 has 4 times the kinetic energy of the same car going 30, which is exactly what makes high-speed crashes or fast-moving trucks so incredibly dangerous.
We're going to pair that with potential energy. You can think of this as this glowing, stored aura an object possesses simply by being elevated to a certain height. The formula here is mass times gravity times height, or mgh. If you lift something up, you are storing potential energy right into it. Drop it, and bam! That stored energy instantly transforms into kinetic energy.
Okay, now let's see how all this builds into forging your ultimate weapon, the work-energy theorem. This rule ties the whole shebang together beautifully. Work done on an object perfectly equals the change in its energy. Just one simple sentence. Memorize it word for word, because this is the exact formula that's going to solve our runaway truck problem.
And this brilliantly illustrates the conservation of energy out in the real world. Just picture a traditional Himalayan water mill. Water hanging out at the top of the pipe has a ton of potential energy simply due to its height. As it falls, all that potential energy rapidly converts into kinetic energy. That fast-moving water then smashes into a wheel, spinning it to grind grain into useful mechanical work. The potential energy didn't just disappear into thin air. It just smoothly changed form. The sum of those two is called mechanical energy, and as long as there's no friction, it is perfectly conserved.
Let's grab our final basic scroll before the boss fight.
Power. Power is simply the rate of doing work. It's just work divided by time, and we measure it in watts. Doing the exact same amount of work in less time, that means you've got more power. To put that into perspective, a standard little light bulb consumes about 100 joules every single second, or 100 watts. A car engine, on the other hand, pumps out roughly 75,000 joules every second. Same exact unit, but completely different scales.
All right, it's time for the boss battle, solving the escape ramp. The clock is ticking down, our toolkit is completely full, and it's time to unleash our formulas on that runaway truck.
In 3 swift strikes, here is your solution. Step 1, 72 kilometers per hour cleanly converts to 20 meters per second. So our initial kinetic energy is 1/2 times our 10,000 kilos times 20 squared. That equals a massive 2 million joules. Now the truck eventually stops, right? So the final kinetic energy is 0. That 2 million joules has to go somewhere. Step 2, as the truck climbs the ramp distance, let's call it d, at a 30-degree angle, it gains a height of d over 2. So it gains potential energy of 50,000 times d. Meanwhile, that sand is pushing back, doing negative work equal to 50,000 times d. Step 3, it's time for energy accounting. Our initial 2 million joules equals the potential energy gained plus the work done by the sand. So 2 million equals 100,000 times d. Solve for that, and d equals 20 meters. That is your minimum ramp length. You just did real Indian highway design using Class 9 physics. How cool is that?
With the boss totally defeated, let's briefly check out some simple machines, which are basically our ninja gear. We've got 3 of them here. But note this absolute golden rule. A simple machine does not reduce the total amount of work done. Instead, it cleverly changes how we apply our force to make things way easier on us.
First up, a pulley. A fixed pulley simply changes your pulling direction. Think about it. Pulling down to lift something up is just way more comfortable ergonomically. Second, an inclined plane, or a ramp. This stretches the work over a much longer distance, so you can use a significantly smaller force. This is exactly why mountain roads zigzag like crazy. They make the actual road longer so the slope is gentler, which means car engines don't have to work as hard at any given moment. Finally, the trusty lever. Just a rigid bar pivoting on a fulcrum. If you move the fulcrum closer to your load, you multiply your effort arm, which actually allows you to lift way more weight with the exact same amount of effort.
And would you look at that? The timer has hit 0. Promise kept. You can now solve complex work energy problems, and you understand simple machines perfectly. So, I'm going to leave you with this final challenge. A weightlifter holds a 50-kilogram barbell perfectly steady overhead for exactly 30 seconds. How much work does she do on the barbell? Think super carefully about our earlier concepts before answering, because most people get this totally wrong. Let me know your answers and your exact reasoning in the comments. I'll pin the clearest explanation. Thanks for hanging out with me in this explainer, and keep learning.